Good morning. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this, but I am literally just walking around the cemetery and I'm testing this mic. So if you're on the live stream and could comment whether me tapping on this microphone is making a tapping sound, that would be very helpful because in the past, StreamYard has not worked very well when it comes to uh, using external audio devices with your iOS devices. There was some sort of misconnect, and I'm hoping that's fixed now with this microphone. So I don't know if you're here. It says that people are watching this. So if you are watching this, I will talk about the Cubs if you want me to. But I'm wondering if tapping on this mic makes a sound. Does tapping on this mic make a sound? Because I'm trying to test the mic to see if it works. Or do you think I'm coming through the speaker on the phone? That's my question to everybody. So if you could comment, that would be great, and let me know. All right. Well, since there's a little bit nothing egregious, well, what I'm hoping is that it is making a tap sound, so that it sounds like it actually is coming through this microphone. Like, is it farther away now? And then, oh, hey, Bernie, good morning. And thanks for coming yesterday to the No Kings protest with us. That was awesome. I had so much fun jamming out with everybody. That was really incredible. But I'll come on here and talk about the Cubs as long as you guys all showed up. Why not? I mean, Cubs win 10-2. I blame us for being able to get that great energy in the air and showing the Cubs that not only do we want no kings, but we want no losses. You know what I mean? So, oh, can I put the comment? I can show it on stage. We'll just leave that one up there. um, so yeah, it was really great. I mean, going out in the street, singing, dancing, protesting, meeting strangers, jamming out with strangers is what I love really about uh I mean, Cub fans, we're a fun-loving bunch, that's for sure. So it's like easy to get us to sing and dance and yell and shout because we already enjoy doing that. That's why we're Cubs fans. But on top of that, it's great to just be in the streets actually believing in something, because I think in this time when religion's kind of on the way out, I mean, I know people still believe in it, like way too many people in this country, that's for sure. But if you see that, when the age of reason kind of hits, and like, well, unfortunately that was like, back in the Enlightenment over, like 300 years ago, but we're still trying enlightenment. We'll get there eventually. But the fact that people have trouble believing in anything. There's like a sort of relativity of truth now. But the truth is, we're all spinning on this planet out of control, and we don't really know why we're here precisely. And we don't get to know because it's just the mystery of existence. But if extrapolate that out to like a daily existence, I mean, sure, you need food, you need air, you need water, and I guess clothes because it's cold. But that all kind of works with the food thing. You got to grow things to. Well, now you got plastic, so you could just pollute and make things. But no, it's like, why are we here on the earth? It's to make music in the streets. It's to enjoy ourselves and to I think lift up the human spirit to a place of joy and enlightenment, however that comes for you. But it certainly isn't to run around in the streets with a bunch of masked Nazis acting like psychopaths and like ruining people's lives, destroying the existences of people's lives because they're brown or speak with an accent or are trans or gay or something. I mean, that's just such small, petty minded mania, really, because it's insecurity, really, from these MAGA chodes. They're so insecure that they can't handle that they can't just lord over everybody because they're white and male. Like it's just like, well, why don't you try having fucking talent, you loser? It's like that's you could do that, just be good at something. But they're not. So they're just want to crash out. And that was fun for me yesterday, seeing all the MAGA chodes crashing out at all the people in the streets, because they can't handle the fact that our community is fun and joyous and is clever with great signs and songs, and they're just freaking doing the double jerk off dance to the YMCA, which we also did because we're stealing the YMCA back from your ass. It's a shitty song, but I want it back. I don't even like the YMCA, and it's all tainted now. At Wrigley, they do the YMCA. I mean, here's the thing: I've maybe done the YMCA too much in my life, and I'm sick of it now. But now I'm really sick of it. But now I'm taking it back just to be spiteful. YMCA is mine, and so is Macho Man. That's coming back in my camp too. I'm taking ownership of all the cool songs in my heart, which is all that counts really in the end. But sorry for the existential speech this morning, but it's just kind of the mood I'm in. It's Sunday morning. I'm in a cemetery. What do you expect? But let's talk a little bit about the Cubs game. Why not? I just made a TikTok about all this too. But Ian Happ with that tank. And I love the Ian Happ controversy out there because all the Ian Happ lovers think that everybody else but them loves Ian Happ and he's the most misunderstood baseball player in all of humanity. And the fact is for a first round pick, when people like Aaron Judge exist or like Juan Soto exist, like who would you rather have? You know what I mean? You'd rather have Aaron Judge, but you have Ian Happ instead. And so he's your franchise player, the guy that has been here this entire time. And that's great. And he's very stalwart and everybody, that's the problem is just the outsized expectations of what, a left fielder should be. But Ian Happ, he does the switch hitting thing. He's a decent fielder. He can Gold Glover, although that's the bit of a participation trophy these days in left field. But he does a good job out there, and he's got a noodle arm. I'll say that much about him, but negatively anyway. But he's a switch hitter. He's got power from both sides. He can get on base. He can steal a base. Although, I think that ship is probably sailing at this point. But to watch him come out, almost get that tank on opening day, and then actually get one yesterday because he didn't hit it up into the freaking teeth of the wind, blowing it back down. Well, that was good to see. Hopefully, he'll have a great April, and the Cubs can get off to a really good start because we're not playing good teams. To lose on opening day is kind of unacceptable. Now that makes today a must-win game. It makes it a must-win game. Thanks, David. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm glad that the microphone's working out because, I should mention this. Tomorrow night, me and Crawley are going to be at the game together, and we're going to broadcast it. Just our faces, because last time we showed the field, we got shut down because, MLB, and I'm sure with the bots, that's just going to get worse and worse that we won't be able to do it. They'll probably shut us down just for like talking about the game and doing our own cast, but we're going to use these microphones, and I'm glad they work because StreamYard sucked in the past. But yeah, we could talk about Miguel Amaya's dong yesterday. Listen, this guy, he's been hurt his whole career. We haven't ever got a full season of him, I don't think. It seems like it's been very spotty because of injuries, some freak injuries too. So it's really sad. And now he comes back and he's older and he looks older. He's got like the little facial hair. I don't know. It looks a little weird, actually. It looks kind of like a Three Musketeer now. I don't know that I approve. Maybe he needs a girlfriend to tell him to stop shaving it that way because it looks kind of like a landing strip. You know what I mean? Nobody wants that on a catcher's face. So anyway, but he hits a tank yesterday, and he looks bigger. His legs look big. He looks strong. He looks older. And that's great. And between him and Carson Kelly, if he can stay healthy, man, that's a pretty great like battery 1-2 punch back there. And you add like a couple of Ballesteros innings and garbage time at the end of the game, and keep him kind of in the rotation of things to save some knees. That's a good look. You know what I mean? For catching is so important. I don't know about the calling of the game. That's hard to know. Like if it's the pitcher, like Kyle Hendricks called his own game. Now I think there's a plan. They know what they're going to do, and the pitchers probably, especially the veterans, have just as much say about what they're going to throw as anybody. But it's all even more secretive now because you can't even see the guy wiggling his fingers between his legs. So those were the days. That and the old 4-pitch intentional walk. Boy, back in my day. So anyway, great to see the Cubs put up a bunch of runs. Fuck Miles Michaelis forever because that dirty fucking mustache. He literally looks like he's got Mr. Hanky on his upper lip. It's the most disgusting color of mustache I've ever seen. It looks like a poop after you've been eating like a bunch of cranberries or something. Like it's just the wrong color. I don't know. I hate that guy, especially after what happened with Hap, and when he plunked him after Hap accidentally hit Wilson Contreras in the face. Like, then he plunked him. Like, what a fucking asshole. Like, understand uh, the game, understand the situation. Like, Ian Happ is not trying to hit Wilson Contreras in the face. Like, that shows that you know nothing. You're just like a moron and a prick. So, yeah, Miles Michaelis, total asshole. So I'm glad to see him get beat up. Yeah, everybody contributed yesterday, and some really flashy plays in the field. But you expect that from the defense-heavy Cubs, and that's some exciting shit. I'm excited about this year. Should never have lost opening day. That game sucked. I don't know why they fell so flat on opening day. The Cubs tend to do that. I don't understand. Big games, everybody's around, and they just shit the bed. It's kind of probably why they had to win the World Series on the road. But yeah. Anyway, that was it was a fun game yesterday. I wasn't at it. I was at the No Kings rally, screaming in the streets for democracy. But I could hear Wrigley Field, and Wrigley Field is already loud on an April day. It was sunny outside. People were in a good mood, so the vibes are high. So I dig it, man. I think we've got a good thing going this year. I really do. It's a solid team. I'm a little worried about Shota Imanaga today. Not a great spring for him. Not a great end of the year. Injury issues, of course, that always hurts things. But yeah, I'm a little worried about what might happen. He's been giving up a lot of bombs, and I don't know what it's like down at Wrigley Field right now. But all right, so right now the wind is at my back, and I am facing north. If you can picture where Wrigley Field is, that means blowing out. Now, by the time you get down there and the lake moving things all around, it might be blowing it. Like, that's just how Chicago works. So I don't know the 1-to-1 ratio of the wind being strongly at my back right now and what it looks like down by Wrigley. But yeah, Joey says new microphone. Yeah, it's literally $8 on the evil Bezos site. $8. It doesn't sound that good, but it's only $8. So I always lose and break these things, so I need them at a bit of a disposable price. Because otherwise, I'm just going to get like a $40 pair, and next thing you know, I lose them, or I drop my phone and the thing breaks, and I just wasted $40. That happened with a pair of sunglasses years ago. So I always had these cheap ones I used to buy on St. Mark's Place in the East Village of Manhattan, and I would always get these cheap sunglasses. Then I'd sit on them and break them, and leave them somewhere, and then so I always just got these $5 sunglasses, disposable sunglasses. And then I was like, you know what? And then I had this one pair of disposable sunglasses for years, and it was just like they were all scratched up, but I still had them, and I still wore them and shit. So I don't even wear sunglasses that much. But back then I did, because I ride my bike everywhere in Manhattan. It's dirty as fuck, and you always get shit in your eye, and you couldn't see. You run into a truck. So I always had glasses on then, those big like aviator kinds. So anyway, I had these aviators, and I was like, I've had these for the longest time. This is stupid. These are $5 pair. I've had them for 2 years. So I bought this brand new pair, spent $100, which is, I know you can spend a lot more than that on sunglasses. People are sunglass people. And so I spent like $100, maybe a little more. But it was right around there. And I lost them in a week. I lost them in a fucking week. So now I just don't fuck around. That's why I got the cheap microphone. Although I've got a really nice microphone that I just purchased at home for recording. So I'm excited about that. I have not got a chance to unbox it yet. In fact, it's a Neumann microphone. So if you know anything about mics, that's a good mic. And I've wanted it for a long time, and I finally just got one. So good morning. Good morning, Vincent. And good morning, all ranters. Yeah, good morning, ranters. Yeah, I did not intend to do this. I was just literally testing my microphone. And then I end up talking about the Cubs because I'm a freaking jabbermouth. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I'm thrilled about what happened yesterday at the No Kings protest. I mean, and a lot of people will be like, what does it do? It's like, well, it gets out in the street and lets you know very publicly and visibly that we're not going to take this shit. And if you keep doing it, it's not going to be a good look for you. You know, it's practice for when you really got to go out there. You know what I mean? And it's always worked. It's always worked. People taking in the streets, and what are they going to do? You know, it's all right as Americans. So you got to kind of suck it if you don't like it. You know, I saw what MAGA did when they went on the streets. They took a shit in the fucking rotunda. So that we're not, you don't see us doing that. We're singing. We're singing, we're having a good time, we're playing instruments. MAGA, when they have a little party, you know, they're out there with deport immigrant signs. Well, yeah, fuck that. That's evil. You know, that's just mean. You know, we're out there having a good time singing. You guys are just yelling about people like fucking, that's sad to me. So, I mean, and this comes from somebody who actually usually takes a negative view of things. I'm a glass half empty, cynical person, especially when it comes to the Chicago Cubs. Anyway, I won't get too much into that, but I did enjoy watching all the maggots crash out yesterday. Just they've got to, you know, we got to step on some necks here because they're on the ropes and maggots crashing out there. They're really actually on their last legs, I would say. MAGA's already dead. But watch out for that because there's, you know, it's something like before the death rattle, which is like this little rally, this last gasp of their little freaking Nazi ways. You know, it's going to be, they're going to be tough. They're, you know, especially Trump as he sunsets with his dementia. I mean, the guy is like shitting his pants. You know, he's got terrible dementia. He can't stay on topic. He's like fighting a war he can't handle, lying more than usual. You know, not even trying. He's not even trying to make the lie sound like the truth anymore because he's just like, well, the fucking morons believe me, so I'll just, you know, toothpaste is really steak, okay, you know, and they're all like, well, and they'll all chomp it up like, you know, a bunch of psychopath cult members. But they're done, and now watch out for the cult crashing out because they're not going to be able to handle that with their ego. You know what I mean? Vincent says it's called organizing. It's called civil disobedience, one of the prongs of the force of resistance. Yeah, I mean, we're not even disobeying anything. Like after we were done, there was a bunch of cops keeping everybody safe. Chicago police, they were multiracial police, like we, you know, and they of like, you know, white, black, Hispanic, women, men, and they're all like enjoying us. And we're enjoying them. And at the end of the freaking protest, we said, thank you, officers. And we walked away because that's who we are. When the Republicans had their little party at the on January 6th, oh, I mean, that didn't fucking go too well for the officers, did it? They got bear sprayed, you know, and we thanked them for keeping us safe at our protest. So, and I know that there are elements of every single faction that, you know, would prefer violence and think that that's a way to accelerate the move towards the next political system that we all live under. But, you know, regardless of whatever political system we live under post-capitalism and post-AI, because these are transformative moments, regardless of whatever system we end up living under, it should be for the people, by the people, and of the people, not some pants-shitting maniac on the fucking throne. That's the point. You know, who do you want next? What if that motherfucker stroked out today? What if that motherfucker went down? I mean, it's totally possible. You all know it's possible. Like, he's in his fucking 80s, for Christ's sake. Isn't he 79? I don't know. But he's not looking good. So, you know, what's going to happen after that? Who are you going to choose? Couch fucker? You know, that's ridiculous. You know, that guy's got the personality of my fucking holy sock. So, you know, good luck. Who do you got? Mitch McConnell? That fucking turtle, like fucking falling asleep in the middle of a fucking speech? Like, who do you got? You got nobody. You just got a bunch of fucking neckbeards, Groypers online. CK is dead, so don't look to him. You know, the rest of the people are fracturing. So, I mean, the whole thing is over. The whole MAGA movement is already over. But watch out for the death throes because that's what's scary about it. Yeah, JD doesn't have the juice. Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, now that's the thing, though. That's why we can't let them, quote unquote, seize power and destroy the democracy. Because if they pass this, quote unquote, Save America Act or whatever the fuck misnomer they call it, if they pass that, they will disfranchise quite a few voters, but it still might not be enough to win. So that would be even more pathetic for them, because they've done such a horrible, horrible job that I think that even if they do cheat, like openly cheat, and destroy democracy, they still might lose. Because remember, they have elections in Russia and shit, like in North Korea, and fucking Kim Jong Un, he like wins like 100 or 99-1 or whatever. And then they find the one guy, and Kim Jong Un gets down. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't deserve your vote." And it's just a big performative thing, and then they, take him out back. No, it's probably just they make him do it, or it's just some performative bullshit. Trump would love it to be like that, all pomp and circumstance, and everybody fucking kissing his ass. But that ain't happening, because it's fucking America, and like eventually the neckbeards will wake up when they come for guns and all that shit. So, it's just it's a disaster of a movement because it's led by a moron. Like if you could have found somebody that was more than just a rich grifting criminal who was such a sociopath that he would like destroy everything in his path to enrich himself because he's completely amoral. If you had found somebody different that had that kind of personality, like let's say Obama was that way, like Obama had the great personality, and he could get his cult, because he did have a bit of a cult of personality. Like people really believed in his hopey changey thing, and if he had wanted to go further with it, and now he did the executive order thing and stuff, and the Republicans stand in his way, and of course he had to deal with all the racists who never really got over it, which is why we got Trump in the first place, because of the crash out of the severe amount of racism that exists in the country, and always has. It just kind of got tamped down for a while, and this is like, once again, the last gasps of maniacs, broken people who believe that race is somehow indicative of your worth on earth, or your place in the social structure. Those people, they crashed out hard when Obama was the president. Now, now that it's they had to get Trump in there, but he's completely ineffective. Now, can you imagine if he's not completely ineffective. He's doing a lot of things that are unfortunately affecting lots of people. So he's affecting things, sure. So I think that I misspoke there, but what if Obama was like one of those guys who like really seized power and had all the Democrats, and they ran roughshod over everything and did whatever they wanted to do and enriched themselves, like, the Republicans would have been losing their fucking minds, over this. And so would have Democrats, though, because that's not how we operate. But with this situation, I don't understand how you could like sit there and kiss an ass of a man who's literally bankrupting the entire country. Like he's destroying the dollar. He's spending $2 billion a day in a war that nobody wanted, including MAGA. And then, before, now that, Doge didn't save any money. They, all the Trump kids are now billionaires. Like, this is what, to drain the swamp? Really? That's what this is? But like, can you imagine if Obama had done any of this shit? Like even one fraction, even one of the things, if Obama had done one of the things, they never would have they never did get over it, just because he's black. So that's not even a good reason. But Trump is such an incompetent and he's so old now that it's just over. It's just gone. The MAGA magic is finished. And like everybody hates you, including the dumbass people that you convinced to come to your side briefly before they all realized what a giant mistake they had made, especially if they have darker skin than me. Anybody that voted for that shit, they are regretting, especially in like Hispanic communities and Asian communities, because they see what the racism really was, and that it was not just lip service. When he said mass deportations, he meant it. He meant ICE Nazis in the street, and he meant seizing power. They're in the airports right now. That's some scary shit. Yeah, the JD says the tan suit. Exactly. No, they lost their fucking minds. Bill Clinton got a blowjob. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck cares? I mean, and actually, that was actually beneath him, in my opinion. Like, for him to do that, that's an abuse of power. For him to do that with Monica Lewinsky. Now, Monica Lewinsky was at least an adult. but he was in a position of power over her, and that is an abuse of power. And so, like, I agree, Bill Clinton maybe should have gone down for that, but it certainly is nowhere near the amount of grift and corruption that is currently taking place. And basically, we've become Russia, like, overnight. Not overnight, because unfortunately, and I've been screaming this for a long time, the president has taken too much power into that office because of executive orders, and they have all done it. And I didn't think I could hate anybody more than George Bush, who seemed to work aconstitutionally at times, especially when it came to, like, torture, which was against the Geneva Convention, and the freaking intelligence failure. Even though George Bush will say, "Oh, I saved you from terrorists," he was president when I was fucking attacked by terrorists. So it's the opposite. He got me attacked. I was there, baby. So I was there on 9/11 in New York City. I smelled it. You know what I mean? I tasted that shit. So, and it was his fucking fault. And Giuliani, who was also mayor. All those people died because they had no fucking information. They did everything wrong. So, and they knew they were going to attack. Republicans got us fucking attacked. And the Republicans did the financial crisis. And every time you guys fucking touch anything, anytime the fucking rich pedo Epstein class touches fucking anything, they bankrupt the country to enrich themselves, and then they leave somebody else holding the bag, like Obama had to hold the bag, like Biden had to hold the bag after COVID, even though he was a fucking old fuddy-duddy. And that's the other thing, is like, people are like, "Oh, you fucking hate Trump. Oh, Biden." I'm like, you fucking think I like Joe Biden? Fuck Joe Biden. Let's go Brandon. I don't give a fuck about that motherfucker. God damn it. Well, I don't see the world that, smart people don't see the world in, like, that kind of dialectic that's so specific, A, B. If you have a goddamn brain in your head, it's way more complicated than that. And here in Chicago, we're electing Democratic Socialists. So, like, the fucking Chuck Schumers of the fucking world, those guys' days are done. We're done here. You see, we're like moving into, like, here's the beauty of Trump. He's destroyed so much shit that we can actually move forward with something better than what we had before, if we want it. But that's why, for the people, of the people, by the people, because Americans are hard-working motherfuckers. It's just that, what are we working for now? What are we working for? There's sensible middle road solutions to all this shit. But, the Republicans will absolutely not do them. And unfortunately, it's gone so far to the fucking fascist regime way of things that, and the Chuck Schumers of the world, who are actually the normies. Like, if you just, like, left these, like, bureaucratic normies in charge, like, things would have been kind of fine. It's kind of like how the Strait of Hormuz was actually open and gas was cheap before we went in and did a bunch of shit. Well, now the normie Democrats are not fine anymore because they can't stem the tide of the crazy people who are bankrupting the country to enrich themselves. You see? So, we have to go further left. Now we have to make the checks and balances. We need to swing back so far fucking left. And by so far left, I mean, give people health care, which fucking almost every other industrialized country in the world does, instead of, like, giving the money to some fucking middle manager who's, like, making up a code so that they can deny your claim after you pay thousands of dollars in insurance, because we all know that that's how that works. And you still have to wait at the hospital, and your coverage is shitty, and the specialist doesn't take that, and the anesthesia wasn't covered, and you don't get dental, and your vision still has to get paid. Like, that's our healthcare system. So they made it, so they nickel and dime the American people, and medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy. And they're still keep putting children into debt for college. Like, they've broken the system. The capitalists have broken the system with profit-based motives for things that are actually public goods. And everybody fucking knows it. And the Chuck Schumers of the world compromise and compromise and compromise because of their own corporate interests. So now we need fucking clean slate socialist, from the people, representatives to go in there and say, actually, we need some grievances redressed. And that's where your AOC comes in. That's where your squad comes in. And there's more and more and more and more of them every day. And the only reason is because the young people are so fucked over right now. They can't afford a fucking place to live. They can't afford shit in their lives. They can't, they have shit. They work 3 jobs. They got no time to fucking party. They're all on massive fucking meds so they could even like get out of bed in the morning and have some fucking hope, so they'd have to pop a goddamn happy pill. Why do you think America's so fucking depressed? It's because, and then America getting more depressed, wealth, inequality increasing. It's the fucking same line. And it's not that people want to be rich. They just want to be able to, like, live, like, sleep in a bed. They want to, eat a sandwich and not worry about where the bread's and the meat's coming from, because it's like just a fucking sandwich. So, it's so that we've gotten past the point of talking even about tax rates. We're past that point now. Like, now it's coming down to like confiscation of wealth because it has been stolen from the people. All this privatization government bullshit, it's fucking garbage. It's just subsidies for rich guys from our tax money. Why does nobody want? Everybody wants to fucking pay like 25%, but nobody wants to get anything for it except for a fucking war. Were you born? I know you might have been born at night, but was it last night? Because that's like baby level thinking. So we have to do better if we want to exist as a country. And of course they got everybody all fucking bent out of shape with the whole immigrant thing, because they preyed on people's racist fears and their fears that all their children would, well, actually not all their children, all their boy children would want to be women and would be trans, and then, or that their boy children would get shown up and wrestled by a trans boy and get their ass kicked and be embarrassed because that trans. I mean, the homophobia, the racism, the old, push buttons of hatred that make the lowly masses, the lowly unwatched, what does Hillary Clinton call them? The deplorables, that make them feel slightly better about themselves because at least I'm not those people. So, I mean, this has been going on for a long time. The racial lines, the sexual lines, the patriarchy has been going on for a long time. It's hard to destroy it, just a generation. And I was talking to some old ladies last night who are pretty disappointed that their last days on Earth will be spent recovering from the mess that has been made. So, there's more billionaires than trans athletes. Exactly. And who cares? Like, I mean, especially like, I know it might be important to the people that are competing, but like, there's some like D volleyball game in the middle of Utah, and there's like, nobody gives a shit. They're like, oh, I lost a scholarship. I'm like, I don't know, fucking work harder. I don't know what to fucking tell you. You shouldn't be getting scholarships for fucking playing sports anyway. And how about this? How about secondary education is fucking paid for by the taxpayers, because it is a huge burden on every single family, every single child. The fact that my niece is now facing like over $100,000 worth of debt for her education, I would have told her not to go. Just fucking take that $100,000, which she doesn't have, but take out a debt and buy an apartment, because you have better luck making fucking more money in real estate than you ever fucking do paying off that $100,000 at whatever bullshit interest rate you had to get, just so you can go fucking take some goddamn college courses and get 4 years worth of credits. So it's fucking garbage. The medical thing, the education thing, and we pay a lot of money and we don't get shit in return. So it's trash. Vincent again, Everett says, live and let live. I wish that was the case. But the problem is everybody needs to agree to that. That's the tyranny of the commons, I guess. We all need to agree to live and let live for that to work. And so, unfortunately, I can't give certain people a moment's peace because they're not willing to let other people live. So that's why we're out in the streets yesterday. So I know what you mean. I know you didn't mean it that way, but live and let live indeed, and that should be the goal. But some people don't feel that way, so they got to fucking go down. Vincent says there are decades where nothing happens and weeks where decades happen. Danny, this feels like 1,000 weeks. I could be wrong. No, it does. No, and that's the thing is like people. I was thinking about this yesterday, in fact, because there's been moments in my life where I had to like muster up a fair amount of bravery to get through some things. And I've always said this: pretending you're brave is appears and kind of is the same as being brave. And so it's really hard in these moments where you kind of want to give up and bury your head in the sand, maybe watch a little Cubs baseball, maybe, go to an amusement park, like do some, play a video game, like escape from all the reality of this shit. And it certainly is not mentally healthy to live in it. um, you have family responsibilities, children to raise, jobs to do. I get it. And this is all a huge waste of time, unfortunately, that we have or thrust into this position to have to fight back against the stem and the overtake of the government by insane people. But these are the moments we live in. So what are you gonna fucking do? I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. I'm like, well, if we don't fight back against it, won't it be far worse, in the future? Because you got to admit, like even 9 million in the street, whatever it was yesterday, even speaking out, even though it was like, peaceful and really didn't do anything, except for go out there and have a good time and make hilarious signs. But, you have to, I kind of losing my train of thought here, to be honest, but like you have to understand that like this is part of the new path forward. You have to start somewhere. You have to take the one step in front of the other. So even though these times can be difficult, you just kind of got to do them anyway. Sometimes you got to, go to bed and take a nap and, let ruminate with it, do something for yourself. So it's just all about the balance between self-care and doing even just a little thing. There's so many of us, that you don't have to take it all upon your shoulders. Like I certainly have felt that with me, like even yesterday, like organizing people to show up at the protest. I was like, whoa, what if nobody comes? And, what if people make fun of us, and they did, they did make fun of us. But I don't give a shit. Just smile right back because we're right, so we have the advantage of being correct in this situation and being on the right side of humanity. And there's something to be proud of that. We should not be burying our heads in the sand and let like the bullies. It is like high school bully shit. You know what I mean? You just have to stand up in the face of all of it because these fucking assholes try to tear you down, but you just have to like, I'm rubber, you're glue it, and just put on your armor and, realize that it ain't that deep for like half these people, but they'll wake up eventually. And if they don't, well, then they'll destroy themselves. And that's nothing I can do about that. But this mega movement is over. And it's just a matter of when. We just have to just keep out there, keep the pressure on. And at this point, now that they're on the ropes, now that they're destroying the economy, and because we're not, I mean, I hate to say it, but we haven't seen really nothing yet. And I'm not really, I mean, I can catastrophize with the best of them. I really can. But the fact that the farmers aren't getting fertilizer, the fact that oil prices are what they are, and that it's going to take a lot more money to move goods and services, including ourselves, as we go to and from the places we have to go and the people we have to see in the country that was built on a national highway system. Like, this is going to destroy everything. So, if people's disposable income was already gone, now it's really gone. Mac and cheese is becoming ramen noodles, and all that shit's going to get even more expensive as the pipeline. My advice to everybody is to stock up now when prices are cheap. If you go to fill your cart. I have a couple closets full of like tuna cans, so that when it's like double the price, we'll raid our own fridge until it comes down, because supply and demand, that law will still exist for the time being until they destroy the dollar further, and then supply side economics. And when things aren't good, and nothing, that will wake up mega. Everything has already started going up, yeah, and then it'll all go down. Like they're fighting massive deflation ultimately, in a way. I mean, you got the goods and services thing with the input cost of oil, but you also are constantly they're constantly printing money and making the dollar worth less. So there is a sort of an argument for like buying assets like stocks and maybe not bonds. I don't know. It's also iffy, you know, gold. I don't know. That took a dump. If you bought at $5,000, you're not too happy right now. Crypto's fake, you know, like there's all sorts of, there's nowhere to put your money. The money's all fake. So we just have to like really buy a guitar. I don't know. Maybe that'll hold its value. Buy a baseball card. I don't know. We're watching a very transformative moment. But if you look back through human history, transformative moments happen from time to time. That we're getting out of NATO, we're getting out of all of the global alliances and trade deals that we had before, and we're isolating ourselves on the world stage. And it's something that a lot of people have always wanted for a long time, and you kind of used to be how the United States was before the world wars. And so you talk about turning back the clock, you're turning it back to like the days of President Bill McKinley. And you know, that was kind of, you know, they had their like imperial ventures. It's kind of how we got after we beat Spain and stuff, Spanish-American War, end of the Philippines and Guam and Puerto Rico, and yeah. So there's California. Well, that's Mexican-American War. Spanish-American War was like turn of the century, a little bit before that, early 1900s, I think. I don't know. Anyway, we're going way fucking, we're going to the Wayback Machine, and I kind of also feel like Trump like read some book, you know, well, not, no, he doesn't read. He was at he read the back of a book about President Bill McKinley. He was like, this is a man who knew how to get things done or something like that. Anyway, nobody likes McKinley, and I just remember looking at the high school history book that he had the weirdest eyebrows of all the presidents. It's just giant fucking bat wings of eyebrows. But you know, I would still say that I don't know. Who do you think was the most handsome president? Yeah, money's fake and getting faker by the day. I know. Like, I even have to like, I did like tell my job the other day because they want me to do all this extra shit, and I'm like, listen, I need my extra time that I have to make money doing other things. So if you're not gonna pay me any money to do this shit, I can't do it because, you know, I need other time now because I've never worked harder in my life and been really more hand to mouth about things. And that's sad because I mean, I had good rent for a long time. I had an old lady landlord. We got kicked out of there when real estate developers, predatory landlords bought our building and kicked out a bunch of longtime residents, people who have been there for 3 decades. And it's a disaster. I hear more and more stories about that every day. And that's what's happening. These rich assholes who live on the North Shore coming down here, or like, you know, the company that bought us, they're in Tennessee. So all the money from Chicago that used to go to this old lady that also lived in the city and she spent it in the city, all that money's going to fucking, you know, fucking P.O. box in Tennessee now. That's bullshit. Management company takes their cut, I guess, in Chicago. So fuck all those motherfuckers. And you think we're just going to like take this? We're going to be okay with this? You're going to take all our homes. You're going to take all the fucking food, make it unaffordable. You're going to take all our money from trying to stay alive, from going to the doctor. And you think people are going to stand for this? Like, man, I used to live around a bunch of billionaires on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And I would always say, I'm like, you know what? They're going to lose it all. They're going to lose it all because they're going to fuck people over so badly that people are going to come take their shit. And you could, because there's millions of you. They don't have enough guys to hold you off. If they came out in mass, you know, the people would absolutely overwhelm any force that the United States could throw at them, even with all their fucking weapons and shit. Because unfortunately, United States citizens are incredibly armed, but it's not the right people. And that is obvious because all you fucking don't tread on me tyranny boys. Yeah, I don't hear a peep from you. So, you know, bunch of wusses, but you just wanted domination. That's all you ever wanted. And that's, and we knew that before too, but we knew you wouldn't rise up. We knew it was about domination, neckbeards. We always had your number. But anyway, so this was a fun test of my microphone. Already been on here for 45 goddamn minutes. Well, now I got to go home and make some breakfast for some old ladies and my wife, who was incredible in the show that I saw her in last night, Cuttlefish, the fabulous Trapdoor Theater. I did the sound design. That film discusses many of the themes that I'm talking about here today politically. I mean, I talked about the Cubs for a little bit too, but there's a lot going on in this country. There's a fucking war happening that nobody wants. there's a freaking pants shitting psychopath in the White House who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground as his dementia sunsets him into the fucking grave. And we all got to watch this fucking happen. It's bullshit. It's a waste of time. We could have been much further along as a society by now, but the stupidest, dumbest people who claim that they're the best people in the world, who all believe in God and Jesus and shit, those people are really honestly destroying fucking everything that has been built by generation after generation of Americans to keep us healthy and safe and smart and rich. We've been very rich, and now we're turning poor thanks to the dumbest fucking people who are allowing the richest people to run roughshod over the entire fucking country. So I don't know how much more succinctly I could put it, but and mass dice Nazis, they want a private police force to basically enforce all their draconian values of the confiscation of the wealth of the country. These people are psychopaths, and if you support them, you're an idiot, and you really need to rethink just about every decision you've made in your life if you still support this shit, because it's okay if you come out now and say, you know what, I miscalculated this greatly. Everybody, I guess we'll have you back. It'll take a second. I mean, you're obviously welcome on Earth. There's nothing I can do about that. But, you're certainly not welcome at my table anymore, because, I can't. If you want to have an inclusive table, you can't have exclusive people at it. It's just how it is. Like the whole movement of MAGA is racist. And that is on its face now racist. So if you still support it, then, even if you thought you had some sort of back way thought process of thinking that they really were a bigger tent party that would include people of other races, that ship has sailed now. That's over. You have an accent, throw him in the van. His name's Pedro, throw him in the van. Doesn't matter. You can be, a lot of American citizens, especially people who are darker than me, have got caught up in this shit. So these people are psychopath Nazis. They have to be stopped. So if just do a little thing today, whether it's like writing a letter to a congressman, tell them that you're pissed off, or even your local representative, or support one of the support organizations that are up in Minnesota. They're still going through some shit. I know Vermont's going through some shit. There are lots of immigrants here in Chicago. Refugee One always needs donations. There's artists like me that are constantly making art at Trapdoor Theater, which deals with a lot of these issues. Now, the play we did, Cuttlefish, 100 years old, but it might have been ripped from the headlines today in some of its themes. We do absurdist comedy, but they had to talk in absurdist ways to get past the power structures of back then. So it's we donate to Trapdoor Theater. There's lots of places you got a little extra cash where you can help out, even if you can't take to the streets or too busy to go protest and fight. But I'll do it for you. Support the people that are doing the hard work, for sure. One North Side is a great organization here in Chicago. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And if you just did a little research on your own, you'd probably find something that even speaks more succinctly to maybe the way of the world that you want to see in the future. But, this is a point where everything's broken. It's broken. And from the ashes can rise the phoenix. And that's, one of the oldest kind of tales in the history of humanity. And unfortunately, when you're in the middle of it, it fucking sucks. And, I might not live to see the good days again. I really might not. I'm 50-2. This is going to take a while. The government, no other government in the planet is going to trust us anymore. If we have a populace that will elect a psychopath who's going to fuck with their everything, their energy prices, the whole world, trying to invade Greenland, break the NATO pact. I mean, those people were ready to die up there to protect that land against us. Like, if you don't think that's a severe situation, then you're a fucking moron. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there are some countries that can hit us with missiles. You keep on, they can't hit us. They can't hit us. Yeah, trust me. And there's other ways to be hit. I was in 9/11, bitch. 9/11. I was there. So yeah, we gotta We got to fucking get these motherfuckers out of there. They're all incompetent psychopaths, and they've seized power. And unfortunately, the dumbasses of the country and the House of Representatives specifically has completely shirked their duties to provide a system of sensible checks and balances. This was probably the biggest fear of the founding fathers, that something like this could happen. And here we are. Saying that George Washington would hate the fucking shit out of Donald Trump, but he wasn't a good person either. So who knows? Maybe I would have been a Tory. I like the king. Who knows? I'm a big George guy, even though he was an incompetent. In fact, I would say Trump is acting a lot like King George at this point. So anyway, let's see if we can win back their respect. Whose respect? I don't give a shit. I wasn't respectable before, and I'm not going to certainly be now. I would just ask everybody to be as there's a switch you can turn in your brain, which you just like pretend to be brave. It's an acting gig, is all. Pretend to be brave. You steel yourself, and you decide that I'm not going to let these butterflies in my stomach and the worry of what's happening get the best of me. Because even if this bullshit kills you, you don't want to die worried. At least go out with your head held high and your shoulders back and looking full face. Like I see all these people at the protest wearing masks. They don't want to be put on the list. Fuck you. Put me on the fucking list. I want to be on your fucking list, you dumb bitches. And the moment I go in for not doing shit, you know what I'm doing? Hunger strike. Immediately. I'm not taking a goddamn bologna sandwich from you assholes. I will die in that fucking cell, like emaciated on the fucking ground, and my body will be your responsibility. And what are you motherfuckers, if not a lot of you, are going to pay for it? So just know, if you stop hearing from me, I'm not eating. I'm not drinking. Fuck them. So I'm 52. I've already lived my fucking life. From now on, this isn't getting better. You know what I mean? So I got nieces and nephews, and I think a lot of you guys probably feel the exact same way, who are my age, that you'd be willing to. You don't want to. I mean, I don't fucking want to. I want to, move to Mexico, die in Puerto Vallarta by the sea, but it made that shit impossible. We're probably already on the list. Exactly. So there's nothing I can do. I'm on lots of fucking shit lists. Let me tell you, this isn't my first fucking rodeo on the shit list. I'll be on your fucking list. I've been protesting your fucking garbage my whole life. Anyway, that was a fun talk. I'm all worked up now, I enjoy it. I like getting worked up. So, and I appreciate y'all tuning in to this. It's been a good time. And we'll be, I guess Michael Cotton is doing a Cubs pod today. That's cool. And that'll be out soon. And because we're right in the middle of the season, got a Cubs game at 1:20. Might ride my bike down there a little bit. I got no ticket, but I kind of got shit to do today. So I might just take a little hour-long roundabout, listen to the crowd, hear the organ, have a good time, do a weather report from the Mom Shrine. But I can tell you this much. It's a sunny, beautiful day for baseball. Who knows? Maybe I'll go in and catch a couple innings. So y'all have a great day. Bernie says thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for being there, everybody. It's like, I really do believe that within our group, that is a subset of Cubs fans and the ranters and all the things we've done over the years, we've built ourselves a community that can affect change and unabashedly go out there and speak our minds. And we've had to kick some ranters at the curb. That's an unfortunate reality of this situation. We're in the schism of the country, but what are you going to do? I can't have those motherfuckers around. They're too stupid and too evil. So I draw my lines, and you can draw yours. That's America. Hooray. Anyway, spagog, y'all. That means go Cubs. Back.